I'll record. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is to show how to add a user for Azure. In fact, privately, if you have problems with creating an Azure account, I said that I was going to be creating an empty database and give students access. So I'm sorry, I don't remember if, well, in any case, maybe people got it figured out. But if you're one of these people, you can message me privately, and then like this user I'll create for you, and then you can privately confirm to me that everything is working. Because I can do things on my end, but of course having another person confirm is good. If I don't hear from anybody, then anybody can I'll just give the username and password to everybody. Um, Wonderful. Okay, so everybody can see this the browser, right? This Microsoft Azure database.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. I see a question about how to connect databases with foreign keys. Um, uh, yeah, I can create an empty database, but let me share this. This is two. Oh, here. Yeah, creating something with foreign keys. When you create the table itself, so when you create the table, then you use this word foreign key, and then specify which the name of the column that you want to be the foreign key that points to another table. And the table that it points to, you put following references. So that's when you create the table. This is the way that the foreign key would go. So here you're specifying which attribute or which column is the foreign key, where it's pointing, that's the references, and then also what to do. So if you have if you have an entry in a table that is a foreign key into another table, then you can also specify what happens on a change to the thing that it's pointing to. So here, on delete cascade, that is like, what a weak entity would do. If in the original table this thing gets deleted, then in this table that has a foreign key pointing, or has an entry that's pointing there, does that entire row get deleted? You specify that here. And then also, not only if the entry gets deleted, but what if it gets modified somehow? So if it changes. And so that's the on update. So if this changes, you could also change it to null. You could cascade it and have it change everywhere. You could have some default value. I think there's like 4 things you can do for delete or update. Okay. if I have time today to create like an empty table, I can do this just to demonstrate it. But good. Where is it? Here. Okay. So this is just the Azure portal. You go to portal.azure.com, and here on the first page, you should already see which databases you have under which resources. I am going to create a new empty database, and I'll just call it, I don't know, empty database. So I'll go through the whole process of creating a database quickly. I'll put it under this resource group. Database name. Database of the soul. Because it's empty. Get it? Okay, select a server. I'll do this one. That's fine. Okay. Oh, no, I'll create a new one. So I don't remember what my username and password were for that. Okay. Server name. Server of the soul. Somebody took it? Oh. Oh, wait. Oh, it can. Oh, no. Okay, it can contain dashes. I'm so happy nobody took that. That's funny. Okay, admin. Admin. Okay. Okay, configuring the database. I'll just keep it as is. I mean, I won't change anything. Oh, I guess I'll make it serverless. I'll do that. $5 per month? Not on this one. Okay. Whatever. Networking, connectivity, public endpoint. Allow Azure services and allow my IP address for sure. Okay. Use existing data, none. So this is just going to be an empty database. Here. Collation, I'll leave it, and I don't want any defender. Need tags. And let's download a template for automation. Ah. Well, there you go. That's interesting. Anyway, yeah, just I mean the server configuration that I made, you can have a template for it, so you can change it and automate the creation of it. So that's cool. No, oh, I have to do all that again. Man, I'm sorry. No. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was recording. Yes, it is recording. Yeah, we've been recording for like 10 minutes. Okay, now I just want to create it. Okay, it's going to take a while to spin up. Is some student okay with sharing their IP address? You can share it privately with me. I could even stop sharing this screen to not show it when it's pasted if you'd like to keep it private. Or everybody can share their IP addresses, and I'll add whoever gives me their IP address. I can add them as a user to this empty database. Hmm. Thank you very much. Okay, so I've got one IP address. So I'm just waiting for the server to actually deploy. Okay, yeah, so for whoever's giving me their IP address, when I get to the point where I'm going to add you to the whitelist, I'll stop sharing the browser window, just for good measure, I guess. I'm going to go for coffee. There you go. Okay, so this database is now on a cloud somewhere on the East Coast. The whole thing is spun up. It's online. It's ready to go. And set server firewall. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that for a moment. Let's do that. Oh. Okay, well, I don't need to repeat it, but if you gave me an IP address that's 192 dot something, okay, so just so you know, an IP address is These are IP4 addresses. It's funny, they said that IP4 would run out of room, and now we need IPv6. And anyway, an IP address is made up of 4 numbers, each of which range from 0 to 255. That's because each of these numbers, I mean, the entire thing, the entire address, is 32 bits long. And so you can break that into 4 chunks of 8. And 2 to the 8th is 256. So you can have 4 positions where you can, store anywhere from 0 to 255 dot something 0 to 255 dot something 0 to 255 dot something 0 to 255. That's an IP address. Now, for your local IP address, first of all, everybody 127.0.0.1. This is always the address to your local machine, no matter what. Just this address. If you see 192 dot something, that is your IP address for your local area network. So, for example, my IP address. Sorry.
Yeah, can I just know what the routine phone call is for?
Okay. Yeah, so you have an IP address for the world when you're on the internet. That's how computers on the internet recognize your the location of your router in your home. But then inside of your home, you could have many, many, many different devices that are connected to that internet, and each of these devices will have a local IP address that is 192 dot something. So I can't use that. So whoever sent me that, you can Google what is my IP address and return what Google tells you. Okay. So I won't add this one. And fine. Okay. Okay, so those should be whitelisted. Let me go home again. Okay, great. So now I'm going, so this is just this empty database. In fact, why don't I copy this? And go here. Okay, so for now, because I haven't shown how to work locally on your own computer, I'm just going to do all of this over the browser. Remember that if you haven't used your database for, like an hour, logging into it or doing anything could take a while the first time because it went to sleep, essentially. And so you have to wait for it to wake up. You can turn that off, but, then you just pay for it. Okay, so here we can see empty tables, and because it's an empty database. So here, oh, you know what? First I need to create the table students before enrolled, because that is going to be something that, okay, class ID, no, we'll do S name, and that is going to be, let's make it 20 characters. And they don't need a grade, but they will have an age, which is going to be an integer. And the primary key is just the ID. What? Ooh. Okay, no foreign keys or anything. So just a moment. I hope it's not something stupid. Sorry, there's some like syntax error here I'm trying to figure out. Just calls it an int. That can't. I don't know why this is not actually. So that's also the primary key. S name. Age. Int. Okay. Sorry, the syntax is a little different here. Before, okay, so I guess take note. Yeah, it depends on which version. All the SQL stuff is the same, it's just the syntax for it. So instead of primary key and then in parentheses the name, this does it where you give, when on the same line that you define whatever that attribute and its type to be, you specify that it's the primary key. Can you say integer too? Good. I don't like int. Very good. Now we have a student table. Let's do, actually, where is this? For adding a user. Oh, I have to refresh this. Beautiful. Okay, so a couple things to note. So we just created a table. You can see the table here. You need to be sure to refresh this view. You'll see this DBO dot. You'll see this again when we create a user. By default, all administrators they'll start at this schema. They call this a schema. And so administrators should have rights to all of them, but you can create different schemas, and then this way you can allow certain users to have access to certain databases, or, you know, this database is for this team, this other database is for this other team, and so you can create a different schema for them. Whatever. Okay, so to create a user, okay. So I don't exactly have in my head the way that this works, but you need to have both a login and then a user. And I understand a user, but I don't exactly understand what the login is. I think maybe it's for like groups of people, and then you assign. I'm not sure, but this to create a login. First, we have to create a login. Can I comment here? Yes, I can. One. Create login. Okay, so that is going to be create login, and I'll call this user one. With password equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go. Then I'm gonna try to write as much as I can. Create user in the master database. So this would allow users to access DB from their local computers. So that is from a local computer that you can, you know, I can use my physical computer, you know, like my laptop, to connect to that database. So in order to do that, you need a username and password. So that's what this is. It's creating a username and password on the master database. That way, when my local computer tries to connect to the master database, it can be authenticated. So this goes create user. I'll call it the same thing. For login. No, here, I'll do this. I'll do users. So I'm going to create users for that login. You can use the same names. It's just, yeah, I'd like to make it a bit different because I want to make 2 users. With default schema equals DBO. Go. Yeah, so this with default schema equal to DBO, what that's doing is it's referencing this DBO from the tables. And like I said, this is the default schema for administrators. So yeah, I think you can just use this unless you have a reason not to. Okay. And then sort of this field execute query why. User must be in the master database. Am I not? Hold on. I hope that's not mine. Let me just try to create the user then. Oh. What is this? Sorry, guys. Maybe it's... okay. Sorry, I think I'm making it more complicated than it has to be. Create... Hold on. Not a user. Let's do a login. Create login user1 with password. Go. Database. I don't see any problem with this. Let me see. That'll work. This is really stupid. I see. Okay, well, so this is all tied together. All right, so this is an example of something you cannot do through this web interface, through this portal. You actually need to set up some client software on your computer to connect to the database. So for that, I can show Microsoft Visual Studio Code. So let me start going through that. Yeah, so basically, it's saying here, if I take this out, when I'm trying to create a user, through this portal. Notice it says Query Editor Preview. Failed to execute, error, user must be in the master database. Well, the master database, this is not what you're allowed to connect to through the portal. So there is a little, there's a few things to say about setting this up, at least on VS Code. So this is Microsoft Visual Studio Code, just VS Code. So VS Code is an IDE. I use it for just writing Python programs, and it's a lightweight, pretty extendable IDE, and it's what I use. There's also something called SSMS. That is the SQL Server Management Studio. You could also use this if you like. Basically, this is an application that just does the database. So it allows you to connect with the database, and you can look at that link that I just sent in the chat. Okay, but for Visual Studio Code, well, actually, I can do either way. Would you rather me install SSMS or set up Visual Studio Code? I've done neither on this computer that I'm using. I have another computer where I have set these things up, but is there a preference for this? If you already use Visual Studio Code, it's kind of nice, but if you don't, then yeah, I mean, I'm SSMS. Okay, great. Oh, no, Microsoft Visual Studio Code. Okay, I'll do SSMS now, and I'll create another video or something about SSMS or about Visual Studio Code. Okay, so here I'm going to download it. This would probably be slightly different if you're on a Mac. Right now, this is a Windows computer. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Not much else to say. I'm assuming that this page should have how to install it on a Mac, or otherwise, if you click this link, it might automatically give you like a DEB file instead of an executable like in Windows. Okay, thought I launched the installer. Let's try it again. Oh, here it comes. This is so slow. Okay. Oh, restart is required in order to complete setup. So I'm not going to do that. Okay, we'll flip it. I'll set up. I don't think it would be that difficult to go through the Service Studio, but yeah, sorry. Going through the installer, it's asking me to restart. I don't want to cut off class, and I don't need to do it. So, okay, Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code here. Great. Okay. So this is Visual Studio Code, whatever it's an IDE here. Like here I have a config file so that I can connect to the MRL cluster at Rutgers. So here, if I want to execute commands on the Rutgers cluster, I can just do that here. I mean, I can connect to the computer remotely through SSH, and then I can run programs on in this program, but it's not running on my computer. It's running on the cluster. You can also, it has a debugger and all this kind of thing. If you go to extensions, and there's lots and lots and lots of extensions for this, it's one of the reasons why it's kind of nice.
Professor.
Yes.
So we have to download Visual Studio Code first, right?
Yes. This is not installed by default.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and you can use whatever tool you like. I mean, if you like, IntelliJ is another one that I know of. I'm not sure if PyCharm can do this. I think not. I think PyCharm is just for Python. Although Postgres supports Python, so maybe PyCharm does this. Otherwise, that SSMS is another program. There's lots of different programs you can use, but I can't show all of them. So here on the left-hand side, you'll see these boxes, and you can just search for Azure. And you'll need to download the Azure database extension. So this allows you to connect to an Azure database. Fine. Once you install this extension, you will see that it added a little icon on the left-hand side for Azure. And here I've already connected, but here, actually, can I log out? I guess it just keeps me, okay, it keeps me logged in by default. When you first install this extension, it will have a little login ... thing. You click that, and then it will open up a web browser for you to log in with whatever your Azure portal account is. After that, well, here you can see the different databases that we have. Although, where is? I want to create a server. Attach database. Okay. So let me try this. Postgres / I need to remember the order. User pass separated with colon at host / db. Okay. Stop sharing this for just a minute because I have to type my password in clear text. What's the name of that? So that's server. Okay, perfect. Let me share this again. Okay, so all that I did is here, not create a server here, to attach a database account. It looks kind of like a plug. And this is a Postgres. And you'll see it asks for an address like this, and these are the credentials that you need to give me. Username, password, here you can see it, username, password, the host, that's the server name, and then the database name. You could also just give me the host name, and then that might also work. But if you have just one database, give me the database name. Okay, so yeah, I entered those 4 things. So I wrote it like, why can't I? This here. I wrote it just like this: Postgres : / my name and then my password. Of course, I wrote my actual password at, and then this is the server name, server of the soul .database.windows.net. I know that because here for this on the portal, that's the entire server name. So I just copied it. And then I added the students table, which is the thing that we just created, and I hit enter. And after that, get rid of this. After that, this attached database accounts, and here's students invalid user name and host name format. It is no. Let me try it again. Just a moment. Do the same thing. Okay, that's weird. Sorry. Okay, so I guess I need to do a little bit more troubleshooting. It's complaining about an invalid username or password. I'm not sure why. Okay, so you can also do SSMS. That, as I said, you can just install it. That's also by Microsoft, so there shouldn't be any compatibility issues, nor should there be actually. I mean, with the VS Code, that's also a Microsoft, oddly enough. But yeah, I'll figure this out. I'll add some kind of tutorial where I go through this without pausing along the way. Yeah, so if you're working with another user, then you have to, or if you're going to be uploading a CSV file, you should have some local program that you're using, be it VS Code, be it SSMS. I'll try to create a video for both as far as those. We've already talked about whitelisting, and yeah, I thought I shared last time about how to create a CS, or how to populate Postgres.
Professor, that
Yes.
link, when I used the code in that link,
Yeah.
it didn't work.
What was not working about it?
I think it had some type of like syntax error. And I want to ask, like, is there a way to change or like set the setting for what type of SQL you're using? Like, I don't recall ever like
Yes,
setting
yes,
Postgres.
there is. Yeah. Let me go through that again. So here, I'll have to go through creating a database again. I'll show you where it's at. Okay, that's fine. Where is that? I remember seeing it before. It's not here, is it? I don't think so. No. In fact, I think it might be Postgres by default, but it's so weird. I remember choosing that before. Oh, I remember. This was when I was going through not the, yeah, this is when I was creating it through the AZ client. That's where I specified it, not through this portal thing. Yeah. Let me see how to do that through the portal. Azure portal. Yeah, somehow. Let's look here. Home.
Yeah.
Create a resource. Yep.
I think the at least following the code that was in that link that you sent us, it doesn't work.
Okay. So where is it here? Yeah. Here. So what you do is instead of the SQL databases here, you can create a resource, and you have more options for the types of databases you want. Here, that's for Postgres. Again, you can just do a single server. I think that's fine. And things aren't so different. So server name, server host, yes. Here also none. It's dumb. version. I don't know. Let's go with the latest. Why not? Don't need any tags. Create. Perfect. Okay, so is that clear enough? Now it's a .PostgreSQL server. You'll notice, where is it? When it's deployed, after this is deployed, the address will be server name .PostgreSQL other stuff. Okay, I'll wait for this to finish. Yeesh. That's why. What is that? Kind of SQL. The cloud could be a little quicker to spin up, you know? Well, the last time I drank coffee, that worked. Let's see. Oh, it succeeded. Okay, great. Yeah, so here, the server name. You'll see that's the server name .postgres.database.azure.com. That's how you can tell that this is a Postgres server, or PostgreSQL in particular. Yeah.
Yeah, so I also have made one of these before, but I didn't see the query editor, preview editor.
Yeah, that the I think that's for the Microsoft's version of SQL. So that way they support that because their syntax is a little different and stuff. For Postgres, yeah, I think you just have to connect to it with a third party thing. Let me do this really quick. Where? Hold on. I was able to get Microsoft Azure working with Screen. So whoever sent me a message about setting things up with Azure and then getting the account suspended for suspicious activity, I would follow whatever links there are. There should be, you can create a ticket for saying, that they wrongfully suspended your account. Microsoft is actually pretty decent about getting back in touch and fixing whatever the issue is. The final report. Both students should submit a report. or all partners in a group should submit a report about what they did. Mm-hmm. Let's see. So let's see here. Allow access to. All right, well, let me add my IP here. IP. Do I want SSL? Maybe not. No, we'll make it easy. Okay. Okay. So here I'm selecting, I'm creating a role assignment for this database, calling myself the owner. Oh, there you go, selected members. Oh, let me go ahead and try to, what is somebody else's email address that they used for Microsoft? I can try adding you to this. That way if you want to test it out. So this is just my my Azure account. Is somebody able to send me their? Okay, well, okay. Have your partner share their Azure account, and then you can also add a role to that member. Okay. And let me try this Azure. Okay, so I need to stop sharing this again so I can try. Uh, Oh, this reminds me, I should show you something else in VS Code if you run into issues. Let's see. It's going to be faster. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this in the quickest way possible. This might be better. Interesting. Okay, so I'm looking at this. Let me copy this for you. This is Azure Data Studio. It looks almost identical to VS Code. And so I just installed it and went to my account. As I said, the same thing. If you do this in VS Code, it'll open up a browser, ask you to choose your Azure account. And yeah, we'll see what this shows. Hopefully, it's all the database stuff. That would be nice and easy. Add a connection. So Microsoft SQL Server. What if we don't want that? Why is this only Microsoft SQL Server? Okay, well, guys, look, yeah. So there's obviously some issues here. Maybe SSMS is going to be the easiest to set up. You'll have a few options. I'll try to create a video about a couple of these. And at least SSMS, Visual Studio Code, and maybe this one, the Azure Data Studio, if it's easy to work with. Would I consider scaling down the scope of the project? So, basically the project is to create a database on the cloud and give me credentials for it. I don't know how to scale that back much. I'm not really requiring how you're populating the database or what with, just that you have a database that's in the cloud that's accessible.
Hi, Professor. Like, I understand that the deliverables are much more clear to me. It's just like how we get there. I honestly have I'm very ambiguous about it.
Okay.
And I think I speak for at least like a couple other people in that I understand that the whole point is to have a lot of different options and there's many different ways to go about it, but I really don't. I don't know. It's just
You
very
don't like that
unclear.
somehow.
No,
Okay.
It's not that I don't like it. It's just that I'm unclear about which one to go through, and it seems yes, I would be able to figure out given enough time, but considering that we have other exams and things to think about, and it just seems like it might be a lot more. How do I say it? It would be a lot easier for us if there was extremely clear set of this is what you click, this is what you do to populate a table, because I think right now what I'm imagining that I'm going to have to do is look it all up, and that seems a little bit too much at this point.
Okay. Well, thanks for your suggestion. I will think about if there's, I don't know, something else that I can offer. Like I say, also create a couple, basically video tutorials of me walking through these things after I've done them. I'll show a couple examples, and yeah, thank you for your feedback. I'll maybe make an announcement on Canvas.
And Professor, just to provide a little bit more context to what the previous student was saying, I
Mm-hmm.
think we spent already 3 to 4 hours trying to figure out the CSV thing, through SSMS, and in the actual website itself. And yeah, just I don't know, it's just food for thought that there's a lot of, as you know, a lot of debugging that makes this project, I think, just even though the deliverables are straightforward, the path to get there is I think more difficult than intended. So just wanted to add my 2 cents there.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, not December 22nd at 11:59 p.m. That's past grading period. I think grades are due by 5 p.m. So if you give it to me after 5 p.m., like, yeah, your grade will have already been submitted. I mean, like I said, that's the hard deadline because December 22nd I have to submit grades. So if you don't give it to me by then you won't have a grade for it. I would say don't put yourself in the situation where you're putting it in at the last minute like that.
Hi, Professor. So just a quick question. So you would say a safe deadline would be December 21, right? Not.
That would be a better deadline. Yeah, that
Okay,
would be a
got
better
it.
deadline.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know, like if something comes up, don't freak out. I mean, yeah, I don't know. If something comes up or whatever, just let me know. But yeah, I just think, yeah, that's a good way of saying it. December
Got it.
21st is a better internal deadline.
Okay, got it, Professor. Thank you.
Hmm. Yeah. Also, if everybody turns in their projects on December 22nd, even if it's at like noon or something, I mean, I'm screwed because I can't go through, you know, uh, everybody's grades. Then I mean, that will be nasty for me.
Professor,
Yep.
when can we get those tutorials?
I will have them up by tomorrow. So today's a busy day. After this class, I have about an hour break, and then there's another 3-hour class from 1 to 4, and then I have a meeting after that. In any case, maybe I'll get to it later tonight, but tomorrow should be okay.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. If we have trouble, can you email me for an office hour session? Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I see a note about debugging in it. Uh, yeah, if that's the problem, then that's not really a problem. That's sort of it. I mean, yeah, like even me going here, I mean, you see me debugging some stuff, it might be a little bit faster. But yeah, that's really kind of part of projects or just work in general. I mean, it's not just a smooth thing. Anyway, I guess I don't think about it and make a comment.